everyone, and welcome to the August 2024 episode of Voices of CFMA, Construction Financial Management Association's podcast featuring conversations with industry leaders, sponsored by Old Republic Surety. I'm your host, Sal Marino, CFMA's Director of Communications and also an Assistant Editor for CFMA Building Profits magazine. August is CCIFP Month, and today I am speaking with CJ Hill. CJ, welcome. Thanks for taking the time to talk with me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So let's just jump right in. Why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. CJ Hill. I am a CPA with Forvis Mazars. Been with the firm and some capacity of the firm. I started off with Dixon Goodman, and then merged with BKD and Forvis, and now we're Forvis Mazars. So been in public practice for about almost 10 years now. Time is kind of flying by, but it's been a good ride, and looking forward to continue this ride, especially with CFMA and getting involved with CFMA. It's made just work outside of work a little bit more interesting.
That's awesome. So speaking of CFMA, what brought you to CFMA?
Yeah, it was actually the merger of DHG and Forvis. I mean, DHG and BKD into Forvis. BKD was huge in the CFMA. We, at the DHG side, didn't really have a presence, to my knowledge, at least. And so, just once you have some kind of backing and support to go into outside organizations and get involved, it's a lot better to get involved in those organizations and associations because you have some support locally or within inside the place you work to kind of get involved in them.
That's awesome. And you and I know each other from the Publications Advisory Committee.
Right.
And for those that don't know, that's a volunteer committee that assists in maintaining the high standards of CFMA Building Profits magazine. So CJ, what made you decide to join that committee?
It's more just get involved. So there's no local chapter in my area. So I'm in
Okay.
Virginia Beach, Virginia, or Norfolk, Virginia, the Hampton Roads area of Virginia, that southeast part of Virginia. There's no real local chapter. So the only way to reach it out and see where I could plug in, and I'm on that, the publications one, and then the legal one as well.
And because there's not that local chapter for you to join, do you feel like volunteering might help you get acclimated a little bit more into CFMA?
Yeah, it does. It obviously gets you, gets your name out there, and it's more fun to get involved, and people will support you if you're, show that enthusiasm to get involved. I, I felt like, as I was going up to my career, there's all these organizations out there, associations that you can have for networking or, different industries and things like that. But it's hard to stay motivated to keep going if you're the only one from your company going there.
Right.
And I mean, especially early on in your career, you don't know what you're doing. And so, you're meeting all these people that are probably more along in their career. So you're just seen as just a youngster that is just showing up. And so to have the support from the company to get involved, and people are like, oh yeah, go for it, and you can IM them and say, hey, I'm looking into this. Do you have any words, or do you have any thoughts on this? And they'll generally come back with positive feedback or
Right.
things to look out for.
Absolutely. And volunteering is a great way to build your connections and have a stronger presence in the industry, but you are also committed to advancing your career, which makes me curious, what motivated you to take the next step and pursue the CCIFP designation?
It was a firm push. We definitely at the DHG level, before the merger, there was a firm push because I think in the construction industry, that was kind of what was being brought up as something to be recognized by that designation. But I always look at designations as a commitment to the purpose or cause. So CPA, if you have your CPA license, I always feel like you're dedicated to the accounting industry. You want to pursue that, or have that as your career. CCIP, I feel like you want to pursue construction accounting. You want to be known for construction accounting, and you know, you're committed to the purpose, I guess. So I always want to at least show people that I'm committed to this industry and want to be in this industry.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the prep process for taking the exam. Because I feel like the fear, I feel like the fear gets you sometimes, and I think people that's the biggest,
Oh yeah.
holdback. Do you have any tips or anything that worked for you?
So obviously the accounting kind of came easy. The accounting portion came easier to me because I've been around it for a few years. And
Sure.
so the hardest thing was more the HR, legal, insurance stuff was always harder for me. So honestly, it was just a grinding of reading those two black books.
Yeah.
I when I think I took it during COVID, so it was like 3 or 4 years ago. So there was no study course where now I think CFMA is pushing out a study course for CCIFP, which it's going to be very helpful. But honestly, for me, it was just reading the books and that dedication of kind of making a purpose to pass the exam. It felt like taking the CPA exam again, just going through that and grinding out late nights, just either studying or just kind of meet different benchmarks each night along the black book. Take the exam and hope for the best.
And for you, what's the biggest benefit to having the CCIFP designation?
I I think it's that commitment to the industry. People will see, then they'll say, okay, oh, he is construction or he is committed to progressing the accounting industry in construction. And it's not just about me, but also helping everyone else out that wants to do construction. And so we can be the best that we can be and kind of bring up the accounting industry and the construction industry.
Okay. So let's say someone who is listening to this podcast right now has been debating whether or not they should get the CCIFP designation. What's your advice?
Oh, just you gotta do it. I think,
Just do it.
yeah, I mean, there's nothing. It's as long as you got support along the way, and there's a lot of people that will support you. There's no reason not to go and get the designation. I've seen it grown over the last few years as I've had it, and I think it's just going to keep growing more and something that employers are going to look for and stuff that will say, hey, this person knows what they're doing, and it's a leg up on everyone else.
Well, if you are on the fence about whether to get your CCIFP designation, CJ says to just do it. So earlier this year, CFMA asked our members to nominate amazing professionals under the age of 40 who are positively impacting the construction industry and their companies. And CJ Hill, you are one of CFMA's 2024 Rising Stars, and your quote, which you can read in the upcoming July-August issue of CFMA Building Profits on page 12. Your quote is, if you build it, they will come. Put the work in and people will notice and recognition will come. You are a Field of Dreams and baseball fan?
I am that. Yep, there you go. You got it right away.
Excellent. Well, let's move on to hobbies then. Tell me a little bit about baseball.
Yeah, it's gotten less and less as the sport. Obviously, it seems like it's gotten less and less popular. I just follow my team. I'm a Seattle Mariners fan. And so the sport as a whole, it just seems like a lot of people just follow their own team now. And you don't really know what's going on. Obviously, you know the big names, but couldn't tell you what's going on with the sport in general. I just know what my team's doing. And it's kind of funny because I played baseball throughout my youth and stopped once I went to college.
Okay.
My dad's a big baseball fan, so it kind of just was part of my growing up. And so all the baseball movies I watched, and I always like that quote uh, because it's just, at the end of the day, it's what you want to put in to your career, anything that you do, whatever you want to do, pursue, you got to put the work in and you're not worry about what other people are saying or how fast it's going to turn. But guarantee if you keep putting that work in, results will eventually show for itself. I think today, society, especially with some of the younger generation I see coming up through the workforce, they kind of want that instant gratification, that now. And honestly, if you just, stay at it, it won't come overnight, but the days and days of working, grinding it out, the results will show for itself.
All right. Well, so we know baseball. What other kind of hobbies are you into?
So when I have free time, I do have a 2.5-year-old at home. I got one on the way at the end of this month. I have
Oh, congrats.
second addition to the family coming some August 23rd to due date, but at some point in August. So when I have time, I got big into running. So I have a group of friends that I run with pretty much almost every day. So it's fun to, that's another thing where the results aren't immediate, but I've definitely seen over the past 2 years that I started running how quicker and quicker I'm getting.
That's great.
And then there's no time for golf. I've kind of thrown that out the window. I used to golf. And honestly, if I had a free, 2 hour span, I'd probably just play some video games. I'm a big gamer growing up. And I just enjoy just sitting there and playing. Right now, I've been playing the old Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Oh, very nice.
They're bringing some of the older games and classic games back, which is nice for me.
They are. And I feel like that's what makes it a great time to be a gamer, especially if you are a parent, because when they're bringing these games back that you grew up with, it gives you a chance to relive them like through their eyes and sort of bond with them and talk to them about it. And I don't know, it's a great time to do that.
I'm into Assassin's Creed. I always start them and never complete them because they are so long. There's like get into the side quests and everything. I actually got my daughter into playing, but all she wants to do is ride the horse and pet the dog and see the cows, and which is nice. But we ended up fishing for like 15 minutes because she's like, "Oh, I'm into this fishing thing now." So it's fun though. But I'm hoping to lean her towards some video games so we can play together and have that bonding time together, and I get my video game time in.
Exactly, right? It's a win-win. Well, CJ, is there anything else you'd like to say before we sign off?
I don't really have much else, but I appreciate you having me on this and giving me a few minutes to share some thoughts, and hopefully some new CCIFP people come from it and want to take the exam. I think obviously it's CCIFP month, so looking forward to if anyone has any questions on the exam or needs some help, support, motivation, I'm always here to kind of help you through that. So
Excellent. Well, we will put everyone in direct contact with you if they have any questions about CCIFP. But seriously, thank you, CJ, and thank you all for listening to another episode of Voices of CFMA, sponsored by Old Republic Surety. If you enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to like and subscribe and share it on social media. And if you're interested in learning more about the Construction Financial Management Association, check out CFMA.org. Once again, I'm your host, Sal Marino, and I will see everyone back here next month. Thanks.